So Jon Jones came out and said that he will need 6 months from signing to fight Tom Aspinall to train for Tom Aspinall. We're gonna go through an article, go through what he said, and I'm gonna give you my opinion on this whole thing, what I think could potentially happen, and then I want to go through Jon Jones's career just to show you that he really has kind of tarnished his legacy because of multiple things, but also the fights that he has missed out on is the biggest thing. But without further ado, let's get through the article first. Tom Aspinall fight starting to slip away as Jon Jones demands 6 months to prepare for UFC title defense. Nothing is holding up the Jon Jones versus Tom Aspinall heavyweight title unification fight. Nothing except Jon Jones. UFC CEO Dana White wants everyone to relax and stop panicking about the Jones versus Aspinall timeline, and even gave fans 100% guarantee the fight gets booked for 2025. Just be sure to tack on another 6 months while after White receives signed contract. While clock is ticking on a summer showdown, because I was told that John wants me 6 months to prepare. Once the fight is walked in, Ariel Hawaii stated, and what 6 months from now is September? No, I'm sure money talks, but it feels like the summer, if that is the goal, is starting to slip away a little bit. Um, so I want to talk about this first. Jon Jones coming out saying that he wants 6 months to prepare. We're in March, so it will be September. Now, the obvious statement is he's had, what, 9 months? Let's see, November, or not 9 months. November, December, January, February, March. He's had 7 months, so he wants an additional six, so that'll be a year and a half, which usually the heavyweight title was defended once a year. That's honestly pretty common for as much controversy as this whole this whole Jon Jones saga really has made. But I always thought that it would be in an actionable fight. I'm a big Jon Jones fan, and it's to the point now where I don't think he realizes what he wasted in his career. Jon Jones, on paper, is the greatest of all time. We're gonna go through his record and that. Actually, I want to do this before we get into what Tom Aspinall's dad said, because then I want to talk about Tom Aspinall, which obviously you have to talk about because Tom Aspinall wants to become a undisputed champion. Jon Jones is holding Tom Aspinall's career hostage as well. So I'm gonna switch over to here. It starts off 2008. Debuters against Brad Bernard, first round TKO. Second fight, third round TKO. First round guillotine, first round TKO, first round TKO, first round TKO. Unanimous decision in his UFC debut against Andre Guzman. Fights Stephen Bonner, legend, rest in peace. Unanimous decision. Jake O'Brien submits him in the second round. Then you get to the Matt Hamill fight where he was dominating this entire round, and then he hit Matt Hamill with 12 to 6 elbows, and the fight was stopped. This is one of the most controversial fights in MMA history. I'm gonna say that a lot in this fight or in this video. Sorry, but Jon Jones probably would have won this with ease, but because of the 12 to 6 elbows, he got DQ'd, which to date is his only loss. Kovzak against Brendan Vera, first round TKO. Matsusenko, first round TKO. Ryan Bader went on to become a double champion in Bellator, second round guillotine. I know we don't rate Bellator champions as high as UFC champions. It's still of note though. Mauricio Shogun Rua, who had won the belt off of a legend, looks like a killer at this time. Then his first title defense is against Rampage Jackson, my favorite fighter of all time. He talks about his fear in this fight and having dreams of being knocked out by Rampage Jackson. And then he decides to come out on his hands and knees, and that's where that whole ritual started. Then you get to one of the most brutal submissions I've ever seen in my life, where you had this standing guillotine against Leo de Machida. Then he fights his former training partner Rashad Evans, beats him by unanimous decision. By the way, former well turned out to be a Bellator champion, former champion, former champion, former champion, former champion, get to Vitor Belfort, where he nearly breaks his leg. Vitor Belfort, former champion. Chael Sonnen, round one TKO. Caleb Sonnen would have won this fight had it would have gone to round two because Jon Jones broke his toe, but Chael Sonnen got finished instantly. Then you get to the Alexander Gustafsson one fight. This is one of the closest fights in MMA history, and when you listen to a lot of people, they say that Gustafsson won this fight, and I see almost people say that. To me, this fight was insanely close. I thought it could have gone either way, and then Jon Jones, years later, goes on Joe Rogan, the JRE, and talks about how he partied a week before the fight. So basically, he dicked around, got lucky in many people's eyes, comes back against Glover Teixeira, unanimous decision win. Glover Teixeira goes on to become light heavyweight champion after Jon Jones left the division. Then you have the first Daniel Cormier fight, one of the biggest rivalries we have in MMA, and he beat Daniel Cormier at his own game. I know he had the cheap shot at the end, but it started one of the greatest rivalries of all time. You notice these canceled fights, though. Supposed to put Glover. Wow, that one's not that bad. They made that in April. Supposed to fight Gustafsson in September. Daniel Cormier, Anthony Johnson. Well, at the time, Anthony Johnson looked incredible. Rest in peace. Um, one of the best of his era. Never fought him. Daniel Cormier fights are close to happen. In 2016, okay, no, up here. This one, I honestly forgot what happened here. Fights OSP at 197. I think he won an interim title here because this was when Daniel Cormier won the belt. This was when you had the car crash and all that. But then you look at the names that continue. Beat Stan Henderson in a grappling match. The no contest against Daniel Cormier, where had this fight would have stayed on his record, would have been the greatest win in his career. The only other guy to finish Daniel Cormier or even beat Daniel Cormier was Stipe Miocic. Beats Gustafsson. Or hold up. I forgot to mention Tyrannoball. But yeah. Pops with Tyrannoball. And that that one is gone. The best win of his career is forever tainted. Then he comes back in 2018 after serving a suspension, still popping for Tyrannoball, but they said pictograms, and to be honest, nobody knows what the fuck a pictogram is to this day. TKO Gustafson, controversial because of the spike in his system. Anthony Smith beat him by unanimous decision. Look at what other people did to Anthony Smith. Thiago Santos nearly beat him with one leg. He looked horrible in this fight. Really, I thought he won three. I thought he won 3-2 barely, but I remember watching this fight live and really having no clue who they were gonna give it to. Then you get to Dominic Reyes versus Jon Jones. I have no idea how this is unanimous. To me, like the first two rounds went to Dominic Reyes. 4 and 5 clearly went to Jon Jones. It was the third round that made no sense to me, and Jon Jones took it. Um, Majority of people still think Dominic Reyes won this fight, and Dominic Reyes should be credited as, technically the only person to beat Jon Jones in a fight. But then he vacates the light heavyweight title, says he's moving up to heavyweight, but he needs 3 years for it. Submits Silgon instantly. Wow. Silgon went on a, 5 round fight with Francis Ngannou. Amazing win. Then he's supposed to fight Stipe that year. And this right here, if the Stipe fight happened and that at that MSG, he had Arsenal win the way he did, we would have had Tom Aspinall versus Jon Jones already. Gets injured, then most recently beats Stipe at MSG in 2024, a year later. And, you know, to get to the main course of the video here, really, which is Tom Aspinall's dad, it's annoying. Because you already have right here one, well, again, keep forgetting that fight happened. You have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Well, he won that. 5. You have like 5 to 6 title defenses right there. Putting him at like what, 20, 21. 19, whatever it is. But we have Tom Aspinall's dad, and he goes off on Jon Jones, rightfully so. Um, During an interview with JN Media UK, Tom Aspinall's father and coach Andy Aspinall had a clear message for Jon Jones. You are contracted to do 3 fights a year, and I think Tom's worked himself into a position where he should fight for a belt. And he said, for me, if a guy doesn't want to fight for the belt, vacate it. Despite Jones's legendary pedigree, Andy insists that his son doesn't view Bones as anything more than a stepping stone. He isn't bothered about Jon Jones. The talk last year, the Jon Jones thing, was just to try and get him to take the fight. Tom's not bothered about Jon. Jon is just another body in the gym, another bum in the shower. Very weird comment right there, but I'm glad he made it. Whether it's Jones or somebody else, Andy just wants to see his son back inside the octagon. He just wants to compete. He's a competitor, and as a coach, you want him competing when he's fit. You don't want him sitting around in the gym. I just want him to compete. He wants to compete all the time. I'm just gonna go back to his record. Like, well, let's go hypothetically through these years. Let's say Jon Jones doesn't fuck around at this point. Let's say after he beat Daniel Cormier in 2015, um, actually no. Well, let's go back to to Sheriff Ray as I keep going. Beats Gustafson in the second rematch. Or in the second fight. Maybe it's close. Maybe Gustafson wins. Who knows? For the sake of my argument, we're going with wins. Beats Gustafson. Signed to fight Daniel Cormier in 2014. You do it in 2015. Could have got it done right there. I still think he beats Daniel Cormier 9 times out of 10. Boom. Then that means 2015. Anthony Rumble Johnson, one of the biggest fights that we wanted to see that we never got because he couldn't keep it together outside the cage because of the positive test. The DC fight gets canceled twice more. He beats OSP in 2016, but like you could add easily in this time span, what would it have been? 14 to like 6 years, he could have added another 12 title defenses. That would have been, that's not crazy to say. He could have easily won that heavyweight belt. In my opinion, he beats Junior Dos Santos. He probably would have beat okay. Cain Velasquez would have probably been the only guy at heavyweight back then where I would have been like, okay, he has a chance to win. That would have been a really fun fight to have. But like, we could be talking not just the GOAT as Dana White claimed, as I claim myself. It wouldn't be a competition. It wouldn't even be a conversation had he not fucked around in his career. Had the Tom Aspinall fight happened sooner. You know, this is another thing too that I want to say. I know we're getting pretty long here, but I want to say this before I go. I looked at heavyweight for Jon Jones as his kind of like what heavyweight was for Daniel Cormier, but in a different sense. Daniel Cormier winning that heavyweight title meant a lot because that was something that Jon Jones couldn't tarnish. That was one achievement that he got. He went up, he knocked out Stipe. That was his title. But like, we could be talking about Jon Jones literally in the sense of Floyd Mayweather. Like, we could be talking about Jon Jones going through Francis. Okay, like, imagine if this was Jon Jones' heavyweight career compared to what it is now. Francis Ngannou, Cyril Gane, Steve Miocic, Pavlovich, Tom Aspinall. Five title defenses would have easily. I think he could easily break the title defense record for heavyweight. And you do need to keep in mind, Stipe did defend that title once a year. Once a year, though, not once every 2 years. But I don't know. It's difficult, man. It is because I love watching Jon Jones fight. I think that when he is not in a training camp, when he's not in the cage, he can't stop doing stupid shit. I know the Instagram thing was the last thing. I hated watching that. One of the most despicable things I've ever watched. But I'm a fan of the sport. I'm a fan of physical ability. I want to see what Jon Jones can really do at heavyweight against Tom Aspinall. Like, Tom Aspinall is the end all opponent for Jon Jones. People always want to see him fight a younger guy. People always want to see Jon Jones fight a guy his size. Tom Aspinall checks all those boxes. And if he beats Tom Aspinall beat everybody else in the division except Jolton Almeida. Like, that's it. Get two more title defenses. Have the most title defenses in heavyweight history for a period of time because I do think that Tom Aspinall would break that, even if Jon Jones beat him, which I do think Jon Jones can beat Tom Aspinall. The preparation and the ability that Jon Jones has is something that I've never seen from any other fighter in the sport. It's just a matter of Jon Jones is his worst enemy. Jon Jones is the only reason the Aspinall fight doesn't happen. Jon Jones is the only reason he doesn't beat Tom Aspinall. Jon Jones is the only reason why he won't be able to go down with all the controversy that he has as the consensus go by everybody. He beats Tom Aspinall. He beats Ferrara too. Nobody can touch that. It would literally have to be somebody gets in at 18, wins the belt at 20, and then does what Jon Jones did without legal trouble. I don't see it happening. It's hard though. But I just wanted to make this video going through what Jon Jones said about needing 6 months. He doesn't need these breaks. I truly believe Jon Jones is the greatest to ever do it. I think that his game planning is the greatest running fighter. And I think the only thing stopping him now is himself. Let's see the fight happen. Let's see Jon Jones versus Tom Aspinall in the summer international fight week. Make a double title fight card. I don't know. Get a Turkish Ali involved. Jon Jones, Tom Aspinall, main event. Ilya Taporia versus Islam, co-main event. Doubt that happens, but it'd be cool. I've been rambling for 25 minutes. I appreciate anybody who stuck through this video. Listen to me. If you did, let me know in the comments down below. What do you make of Jon Jones claiming he needs 6 months and excuse me. What do you think the legacy of Jon Jones could have been? Let me know in the comments down below. I'm gonna go. I've been rambling way too long.